I'm a business management professional with 17 years of work experience, and I have been dealing with managers, CEOs, vice presidents, and I've spent a good deal of my time handling objections and managing businesses across 45 different countries. By profession, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I've traveled to various markets to 34 different markets, 34 different countries, and I have recently achieved my doctorate in business management. Communication is the key to living, and if mastered, it could actually be the key to your success. Now, there are various books on communication styles, and every single book has value to offer. Now, most of them are essential principles, right? Many presenters, students, and professionals, though, fail to understand that communications is all about engaging with the audience. Now, for example, it does not matter if you're discussing a project with your friend. For those who are doing engineering on this forum right now, you have assignments, you've got submissions, and you discuss projects with your friends. Okay, but if you fail to put your point across in your vivas, in your seminars, in your presentations, you will never be able to achieve your objective. Think about it for a moment. You could be a brilliant physicist in the world, right? But if you're not able to put your theories across effectively, your audience may have been lost in the first few minutes of your presentation. Ronald Reagan was one of the most popular presidents in the US history. And when someone asked him as to what is a secret of being a great communicator, of being a great speech person, you know what he said? He said that some critics told him he became a president because he was a good actor who knew how to give a good speech. And I don't blame him for that. I would probably say the same thing about Donald Trump too. Yeah? So, persuasiveness. These guys, all of them, because persuasive actors are very good in the field of persuasion, that's where we use the model of an actor to really understand when an actor starts looking at the script and acting it out, what does he use to be persuasive? Every one of us, if you look at it that way, is a social actor. We behave differently with different people. When you are actually with your roommate, the way you behave, the way you talk would be different than the way you would actually behave when you would be meeting your principal. When you meet your father, your behavior totally changes, right? We all are the same. We all are social actors. We behave and we put on our best behavior based on how the person in front of us is and what kind of a character he is in. Okay? So, persuasion is generally considered the hallmarks of a good communicator. So it could be theater for the actors, corporate, college, or home. We all are social actors. We adjust our behaviors. It could be Shah Rukh Khan trying to win the actress using his indomitable style in the movies. Or it could be Mark Zuckerberg presenting the concept of Facebook to a group of potential investors. Or, for all you know, it could be a young man trying to persuade his potential father-in-law as to why he is good for his daughter. Some of us might be in the same seat. You don't need to comment on that, okay? Yeah. So I was talking about how we generally are persuasive in one way or the other, and how a person or a student might actually try to persuade his potential father-in-law to prove that why he is actually good for his daughter. Or it could be someone from us, from the engineering students, who tries to convince the examiner about the genuinity of his project in a viva, for example. We all are persuaders. Question is, how effective are we? How effective are we as persuaders, as negotiators? We negotiate every day. We persuade every day, right? But are we effective enough? Do we get the desired results? And if not, let's see how we can actually improve that. Let's try and understand persuasion from the perspective of a performance-based communication. Okay? Now, to be an effective persuader, we need to be mindful of what persuasion actually means. Traditional books have taught us that persuading someone is essentially convincing someone to your point of view, okay? Which is fine and great. That's a great definition, and I really respect and like that. Now, look at it this way. Persuasion essentially is two components: objective, your objective, and your intention put together becomes a persuasion as a whole, right? When you want to persuade someone, You need to know what your objective is. You need to have a clear intention, sync them together, make them congruent, and voila, you'll be having an effective persuasion done. And I'm going to take you into the detail of that and how that really works. And this is unique. You won't really find this in a lot of books, okay? Now, it could be a customer service call. It could be you who is delivering a presentation. It could be you who's convincing your dad by going out with your friends, okay? Or it could be the corporate you running a team meeting or having dinner with the family. The success of a communication depends on those two things. First, you must identify the objective, something which you want or need from the audience. And second, you must choose an intention that will assist you in the pursuit of the objective. So, objective essentially in the simple words is what you want. An intention in simple words is how are you going to get it? Okay? What you want and how are you going to get it? Actors like Shah Rukh Khan or Tiger Shroff know the magic of working the objective and intention together, and hence are able to achieve successful results. Now, good performance is possible when we project our true selves into a circumstance, into a situation, okay, and deliver a message with a specific intention. You have a certain message, you have a certain intention, you deliver the message with that intention in mind. Only then the objective gets achieved and you are able to persuade that particular person. For example, let me explain that to you. A salesperson who wants a sale to happen, right? He comes to me and he shows me a product and tells me, oh, sir, this is a great product and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And his objective is to make the sale. Now, there could be two scenarios. His objective is very clearly defined, make the sale. Now, if his intention is also to make the sale, 9 out of 10 times, he is not going to make it because I will not be aligned. But if his intention was to satisfy my needs, to ensure that I have a need which needs to be fulfilled, and his product can actually do that, that's where 9 out of 10 times he'll be persuading me, he'll be successfully persuading me to really purchase the product from him. Make sense? If this is not making sense, just write it in the comment box. I'll be happy to repeat it, okay? This is very clear to understand. Objective and intention together help you become persuasive. Let me give you another example. A daughter, if there are daughters on this forum, I'm sure there are students who wants to go out with her friends to a shopping mall in Hyderabad, right? And she goes to her father. Okay, I have a request of could you repeat? I will. Let me give you this example, Abdullah, and I'll repeat this with an example. So you have this daughter who wants to go out with her friends to a shopping mall, and she wants to take permission from her father. Her objective is to get permission, right? Her intention is to have fun and have a good time with the friends. Now, if as long as it is that, objective is to get a permission, intention is to have a good time, she'll be more than successful in persuading her dad to go out to the mall with the friends. But if her intention becomes getting permission by hook or by crook, and her objective is getting permission, I can tell you guaranteed the father will not be persuaded enough to allow her permission to let her go to the shopping mall. Okay? So your objective and intention is important. And we'll further get into those details in the next slide too. Now, for the salesman, okay, I talked about it, right? Congruency in both, in terms of aligning your objective with your intention is important. And once you have this congruency, your desired reaction or outcome will be achieved. Whatever reaction you want from your father, whatever reaction you want from your boss, whatever reaction you want from your professor, you'll be able to achieve that reaction once you have these two things aligned. Okay? Now, objective. Let's look at objective a little more in detail. These three questions which are in front of you, I call them the holy trinity of objective, right? So the first question is, what do I want? Second, what is in the way of what I want? And third is, how am I going to get what I want? So what do I want? Second question is, what's the objection there? What is that speed bump which is not allowing me to get what I want? And third is your plan and preparation of getting what you want. Okay, so objective is the goal or purpose, first of all, which you hope to achieve with your audience. Okay, now you can have multiple objectives. Let's take an example again. Let's say one of the engineering students in the forum here would like to go for a job interview, right? Your objective is what? What's the objective here? For someone going for a job interview, what's the objective? To secure an offer letter. Okay? His super objective is to secure an offer letter. The smaller objectives could be dressing professionally, researching the company, and what have you. Right? Now, what is in the way of what I want? The interviewer is in the way of what you want. He is the barricade you need to cross to get a signature on that offer letter. Right? And then how am I going to get what I want? Well, I will get what I want by being well prepared with my answers, dressing professionally, and researching the company. These three categories, once you break down your objective into these three questions, it becomes much more simpler for you to really write them down and devise a plan as to how you're really going to achieve that to become more persuasive. Okay? So the fact remains that you have to be clear about your objectives and write them down using concrete language. If you have more than one objective, write all of them down. Believe me, once you have this part done, once you have the objectives part taken care of, half your battle is won. The other half is a secret weapon and your most invaluable tool, which is your intention. Okay? And we'll go to that right now. So far, if you're not understanding anything, if you've not understood anything, please feel free to write it down. I'll be happy to repeat it. If not, we'll move on. Okay? So this is half the battle won in terms of being persuasive. The second half is all about your intention. How do you align that? Now, what does it mean, essentially, first of all? So every time you craft a message, every time you want to speak to someone, could be your principal, could be your professor, could be your father, could be your friend, right? Could be your boss, could be anyone, could be your wife for that matter, right? We have an objective in mind every time we craft a message for ourselves. But we never ask ourselves why the message should be important to the audience, why the message should be important to the interviewer, to the professor, to the principal. Why should they care? And when we don't care, when it do not really have the importance of why that message should be important, that mistake becomes fatal, okay, in terms of achieving your objective. So unless you know yourself, how do you want your audience to react to your message? How do you want them to feel? That's your intention. The answer to that question lies in your intention. Intention becomes the aim that guides your action. Let me give an exercise. Think of a recent interaction where you try to convince someone. Okay? Think of anything. Could be any damn thing, as small as maybe convincing someone to just go to a certain restaurant for eating food or having dinner. Okay? Now, the question that I have is, did your verbal delivery and your body language really support your intention? And were you able to achieve your objective? Were you able to really convince your friend? You could have been able to because you're very good at it. But I'm just talking it a little more scientifically because this could become bigger, right? And so were you able to achieve it? And if you did, how did that make you feel? A strong intention, when activated properly, will inform all aspects of your communication. Your body language changes, your facial expressions change. I wish you could see me. Okay, vocal dynamics change, and everything else changes. And to experience how this works, try using verbs. Okay, list verbs which could really be your intentions, and try using them on a certain statement. For example, let's say, I'm going to tell you, there's a statement here, and you can see it on the slide. It says, "Can I see you in my office?" Right? It's a simple statement where a boss could be telling to an employee, a professor could be telling to a student, or a principal could be telling to a professor, whatever, applicable in every other department, right? Now, "Can I see you in my office?" a simple statement. Use different verbs to really say that and see what kind of a difference it actually makes. So if I'm the boss, if I want to inform someone about something, and I want to invite him into my office, how will I say that? I'll say, can I see you in my office? Right? Now, if I'm really pissed off on someone, if my employee has not done a decent job, and I want to demand him to come and see me in my office, how do I say that? Can I see you in my office? Right? Excite. If you use the verb of excite and you want to use it in the statement, try doing that. I'm not going to shout again in the microphone. Okay? And then use the verb tease. If I want to tease someone, how will I say that? Can I see you in my office? Right? Things change. The delivery of your words changes, your intention too. And that's why intentions along with intention cues are important, where your body language, your facial expressions, your vocalness, everything becomes very, very critical as you deliver a message. Okay? All good so far. I don't see any questions or comments where I need to repeat. So I'm assuming either everything is understood so far or nothing is understood. Okay, fine. So just to wrap up on this part, on the intention part, you need to pinpoint the intention. First of all, you need to decide how you want your audience to act upon your message, your objective. You need to pinpoint the intention to deliver the message efficiently. Finally, you must activate your intention cue, the vocal and physical expressions to ensure words and your delivery match up and the message achieves the desired result, essentially having congruence in whatever there is. Thank you, guys. You know, it's nice that it's been understood very well.